I want to tell you the one thing that really pisses off any client, right? I've worked with a lot of clients. I know what pisses them off. And I've also been a client. I know what pisses me off. So let's assume you got a project. Let's assume you're on Upwork and you've decided to take up maybe a graphic design project, which is cool. And you've been asked to design a flyer. So, you get the brief, you've signed the contract, and you open Photoshop and you've started. So I'm going to take you through each day, okay? Day one, you're doing your research. You're on Pinterest, you're on Instagram, and you're putting together a mood board. You're like, yaar, flyer should look like this. Aisa dikhna hai. I need a flyer to look, maybe red background. This one looks good. This one from Marvel looks good. This other one looks good. You collect it all. You're putting a mood board together. Now, day two, you fired up Photoshop. You put your main characters in between, right? And maybe you've put a sea in the background. Maybe you're making your poster blue. You've made it a little bit Marvel looking. This is going to be an awesome poster, you think. Now, day three, you had a small change in idea. You think that the characters shouldn't be in the center, they should be in the bottom. All the text should be in the top. So you move to the top, work on the fonts. You're making like one of the best looking posters in all of time, right? It'll look awesome. The client is going to be extremely happy. Cool. Now I want to flip the side. I want to show you what the client is thinking. I know what you're thinking. I've shown you what you've thought through day 1, 2, and 3. I want to show you what the client is thinking. You need to hear this because you don't know about this. Day 1. Okay, so day 1, yeah, I paid the money. I'm sure the freelancer is going to put out some good stuff. And, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what he'll put out. Day 2, I haven't heard from the guy yet. Maybe he's having some emergency or, maybe he's just waiting for something. But I wired the money yesterday, so I'm getting a little bit anxious. Day 3, oh, I'm getting scammed. This is a scam. He took money from me. I've not heard from him. He has completely disappeared, right? This needs to be solved. I'm going to go file a case. I'm going to go file a case with Upwork. I'm going to go file a case with police. This guy's taken my money on the internet and run away. You see what's happening? In your head, in your bubble, you're doing a great job for the client. You're putting in all this hard work, this effort, this time, this energy. But in the client's head, he's gone from happy to scammed, right? Because he has heard nothing from you. Look, businesses, freelance projects, relationships, especially client relationships, depend on clear, constant communication. Now, even if you had done nothing, for first 3 days, let's assume you sat on your couch and ate nachos. Even then, if you had sent the client a message every single day saying, hey, I'm working on it, I'm figuring out the mood board, whatever it is, as long as you were in constant communication, even if you didn't produce anything, the client would be happy with you. Now, why does this happen? You have to understand that when you're a professional, especially when you're a professional freelancer, you have 2 jobs. The first job is to put your skill in action and produce something of value. And the second job is to give the client a great experience. Great experiences are constant communication. Constant communication doesn't mean asking the client 100 questions. It means telling the client what you've been up to without disturbing him or her. By saying, hey, today I did this, or I'm doing this next, or I'm working on this. Clients love that, right? It really makes their life better to know that somebody cares, somebody gives a shit. And the opposite of that is the client getting bloody scared because you haven't replied to him at all. If you paid for something and nobody responded to you, you are going to get upset and you're going to get angry, right? So when money is exchanged, you have a responsibility to stay in communication with the client. And that is the number one thing that pisses clients off. In fact, I wouldn't hire a genius who is not communicating. I would rather hire a diligent person who communicates every day with the potential to become a genius in a few years. I would rather work with people like that because I worked with the other side and they are horrible. Now, one tip here. If you're working with cheaper clients who are paying you less, paradoxically, you need to communicate more. When a client is paying you $100,000, chances are that they've already done their due diligence. They've done their research on you. They've seen your last projects. They trust you. Right? And usually there's one person who's responsible for reaching out to you and making sure this coordination happens. On the smaller projects, if somebody's paying you $100 for the entire project, expect them to eat your head, right? Because they don't have the experience and for them, it's $100 is a lot of money to lose. For a large company like IBM, 100,000 is chicken feed. So paradoxically, smaller clients need more communication than larger clients. Right? So keep that in mind and make sure you're always communicating. Bye.